TMI Socials it is, and it's always a delight to have you there and to know that you're always here with us. My name is Nwuluwa Stevens, a social media butterfly. Now this morning we kickstart with the biggest story of the week, as it was all over the news that Donald Trump was rushed off stage, smeared in blood, after a series of gunshots were fired at a campaign rally on Saturday in Pennsylvania. Now let's go over to America to see how it all happened.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Now, in the meantime, the suspected shooter has been confirmed dead, and also President Joe Biden has also reacted to this trending story. Take a look.
That there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well. Number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else.
Now, speaking about doing well, Donald Trump again, within the space of how many hours, was seen also on social media walking greatly. Take a look. Now that was Donald, who is interestingly doing well, thankfully. Let's see how you've been reacting to this on socials. Yes, let's see. This guy says, I'm gonna be so real and say this, but that looks staged. No way they missed with that many shots and just nicked his ear. And then the fist pump and all the pictures of him with the flag. This is a propaganda. Another thought on this one, another thought on the story. This guy says, Trump said, wait, stopping the Secret Service from getting him to supposed safety, number one. Number two, put his shoes back on. He says, let me get my shoes. And number two, find the camera and strike a pose. And the Secret Service let him. Like, what is going on there? But finally, on the story, Barack Obama has this to say: there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that the former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him quick, speedy recovery, he says. Now moving over away from America, here in Nigeria. On Friday precisely, it was a Black Friday. But now the Plateau State government has declared 3 days of mourning for lives lost in the St. Academic School building collapse on Friday. Now let's see how it did happen on Friday, where it was also in the news that no fewer than 22 lives were lost and injuries were sustained by several teachers and students of the school. Now, still during the weekend in Abuja on Saturday morning, we saw another building collapse again, and then it begs the question of what really is going on. But let's see how you've been reacting to this one that happened in Plateau State. This guy says, how can a father, mother, and 4 children be wiped out in Jos, Plateau State, in just one day? This is so heartbreaking. Another thought on this guy, Chinyere, says, man, hardship has forced people to be using substandard stuff to build houses. This is becoming too much. The government really needs to regulate how building materials like NAFDAC is not a must to build house, especially if you are not sure of funding. May your soul find eternal rest Amen. Well, away from what happened in Plateau State, let's move over to Oyo State, where the state governor, Seyi Makinde, was trending as he did say that the Supreme Court verdict granting financial autonomy to local government council is a distraction to the real issues facing Nigeria, like the high cost of food. Take a listen to him.
Supreme Court, there's local government autonomy, financial autonomy, and all of that. And I will still say it. I think it's just a distraction. We must face the real issues that we have. And the issue that we have is we are not producing enough. We're not productive. Whatever it is.
Now, speaking about being productive, still in the same video, he said Nigerians should focus on fighting hunger than, you know, local government autonomy and all. But let's take two reactions on the story. This user, I am Yomi Gold, says governors are the major contributors of hardship. They get allocations and still do nothing in their respective states. Another take on this beat, this guy says he is saying the fact, but then people will ask him, what has he done? Moving over to Lagos State, where there was a bit of, you know, social media shenanigans, as there were speculations making the round on social media yesterday that the Lagos State government is set to ban the popular Danfo and Kodope buses from operating in the state. But the Lagos State government has come out to clarify and say that the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration is set to introduce the bus reform initiative in a bid to restructure commercial bus operations in Lagos. Now, as a result, unregulated commercial bus operations, specifically Danfo and Korope buses, will be subjected to various standard tests in order to qualify them for admission into the BRI. Now, this new transport policy will be rolled out in phases starting from October 1st, 2024. But let's see how you reacted to the social media shenanigans. I'll love to say. Now, this guy, Generation Football, says that should have been done 15 years ago. However, if they do it now, better for the environment. Nevertheless, I hope they provide alternative. Another thought, still in this one, Ayo says, why banning of Danfo, Kodope in a country where people hardly put food on their table? It is very certain that there is no alternative means for these people to survive when this decision is acted upon. Lagos State government needs to do better. Now, still on socials with plenty drama and twist, but here is a video of the EFCC boss, you know, saying, and I quote, that some religious organizations are more corrupt than public office holders. Take a listen.
Not only to preach, but to demonstrate. Just this last week, I've had cause to recover how many millions from a religious organization. You appointed you a pastor, you use the opportunity to. That's when you become a big man. We don't even know what you are doing to earn a living, legitimately on your own. You live on the people money, on the ministry, on the church, on the mosque. Can't even explain your wealth, the source of your wealth. If you are not accountable as a religious person, and you expect a public officer to be accountable, people of God, you want to hear the truth? Some religious organizations are more corrupt than public offices. I have evidence towards that. For me to say all that, yeah.
Can all in support of this motion say aye? Can we get a nay? But let's see how you reacted to this guy on social media. Now, netizens, this one says, the difference is this. The church members do it at their own free will, while the government, they use force on us. Another take on this one would be this guy, Accessories by Jerem, says, to be honest, what he said is valid. Well, one more thought on this, just one more would be, this guy says, let's be honest, this is the most vocal EFCC chairman ever. He needs to match his words with equal actions though, especially within his own organizations, that is, his church, and the EFCC. Well, Sonny Duke, Okosu, what do you think?
Well, interesting conversation. I mean, the virtual world, as we know it, is as real as the physical world that you and I live in. So whatever happens in the real world also takes place in the virtual world. And when we hear conversations there, it's really so free that people can genuinely express themselves without being hushed and cajoled and all of that. But again, you also have the challenge of ensuring that you look at what you hear or see critically, so you will not be misinformed or disinformed or misled or disoriented, as it were.
And of course, so you don't get punished as well.
I think I like the part. I think we talked about that this morning, talking about the EFCC chairman, that he should match words with action. But there are limitations. If he had all the powers, as it were, that's possible. But his powers are as prescribed by the Constitution. And certain things he may want to do, if the chief executive is not in tandem with those things, then there's a limitation there.
Absolutely.
He will just probably lick his wounds and maybe look for other things to do. But I think that the anti-corruption fight can actually be achieved if we all put our hands together and give all the needed support wherever it's needed for us to make headway.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, that's our package today on TMI on the ITV network. We hope you had a great time with us on the show. Be sure to join us tomorrow for a fresh package of the program. Have a great week ahead, and bye for now.